So, as you know, I went to the VA today for my appointments, and I have to get up like super early and do all that stuff. And we go to the gas station and, you know, put air in the tires and do all the stuff we got to do. So, we leave really early. So I took a nap when I got back, of course. So, um, you know, the Caters are a uh, very, let's say, pathological bunch. They like to they lie like it's going out of style. And one of them, I really don't want to call attention to him. You probably know one of the lobster simps who says that she's an author. Yeah, okay, or she's writing a book. Uh-huh. That's going to be a doozy. um It has to be fiction. She's got it. Well, actually, as long as it's fiction, she'll do great considering she's a pathological liar. Um, of course, is blasting the narrative, vet bashing away that either show my DD214 or shut up. Well, I have shown my DD214. So I guess we're going to see her rush out to the interwebs, apologize, and actually start calling out LB and Molly and the rest of the vet bashing bunch, right? No, we're not. So it wouldn't even matter. It would, like, let's say, I don't know, I go and do it all, show everything all over again instead of them just scrolling down and looking at it. You'd think that they wouldn't be that lazy, but we are talking about, you know, the salt queen herself. So just making sure that it gets put to an update so that we have it all, archived here. It's the whole point of these little streams, and making sure that I update you where it needs to be updated. But again, it is vet bashing. Don't get this twisted. It's absolutely vet bashing. Of course, it's just her way. She's one of those people that follows everything obsessively. So, and she was around back when Lobster Man did this himself. Okay. And, I didn't tell you guys, or I wasn't going to do it on stream because, of course, the Lobster Man is just completely irrelevant at this point. But so there's a stream that we have from a few weeks ago where Lobster Man, EKC, and who is it? I think it's someone called Nikki, and sit and vet bash their asses off, just about as bad as LB did. So, of course, when he gets called on it, anytime he vet bashes, he'll scream and yell about how he is a veteran himself. So somehow he can't vet bash while being a veteran when you absolutely can. It's about how you treat other people. It's about what you say about other people, vet bashing. So, anyway, so that one is a good hour long, a half an hour to an hour long escapade, where they literally are just lying their asses off. And the thing about these people is that, they have a lot more interaction with me from back when I got along with them. They should be the ones that are actually stepping in and letting people know that, they're wrong. Of course, they can't do that because in their mind, it helps solidify a narrative that that they need to push to defend themselves from our horrible commentary. But in the end, I just want to make sure that we're all updated. They're so angry about the fact that this attempt has backfired in their face. That they are just kind of spazzing out, going, further and further and further to try and pretend as if they didn't vet bash. And the reason why they're so affected is because their audience is pissed. People in their audience who have veteran fathers and uncles. Who was it that did it last time? Oh, shit. It was probably, forget how long ago it was. One of them, like, I don't know, was it Molly? Somebody vet bashed, like, really hard. Oh, no, this was a while back. I don't know if it was EKC. Oh, EKC was in the group that was doing it a few weeks ago. This live stream. Nobody even knew about it because of how irrelevant EKC and Lobster Man are. People just don't watch them. So it was like a 5-hour stream, and then like a good half hour or whatever of it, like deep into it, was them vet bashing and lying. But I forget who it was, but one of them did it. No, it was Lobster Man, wasn't it? Oh yeah, fuck man, it's been so long. So Lobster Man, he was if you recall, he lost a huge portion of people. But then again, I know it was someone else too. It'll come to me later, who did it and got such a pushback from their own internal audience, moderators and other supporters and viewers, and they lost such a big chunk of people that would never go back due to how offended they were over the things that the person said. That same thing is happening again, just to update y'all. So, as they fall into the trap of going in this little circle of trying to do these things, they end up more and more and more of the, like, just about everybody in their family has a veteran, and if not, one of their really good friends are. So you'd be surprised at how many people, or they just really feel they feel really strongly about it regardless, even if that's not true. So they're doing a lot of damage, and I'm just sitting back and watching them do it and laughing because it's hilarious. So these streams are to make sure that we don't forget who it was and when they did it and where they did it. And it's to make sure that we have a timeline going, because as you know, very shortly after ellebee did it massively, her and Charlotte worked together to try to convince their audiences that they didn't vet bash and they just asked questions, which they didn't do, obviously. And from all reports, Charlotte also is having to do some, after my stream from last night, she's been having to do some damage control with her mods and viewers, because they, unlike some of the other caters with Charlotte, she actually was, really thankful that we stood up for her when she was being harassed and doxxed and attacked by people who she now allies with, which is funny. And so her audience knows who we are, and they check out our stuff, and when there's drama, they click back and forth. So after I did my video, there was a lot of people in her audience who wanted to know why Charlotte isn't calling out ellebee for vet bashing and cutting ties with her, and of course trying to let her know that they're not buying the bullshit about ellebee just asking questions. So also, good news on an update here. Several of the uni peeps supplied me with the clips of ellebee. I tweeted out one of the transcripts. So if you want to slide down after this on my Twitter and look at the transcript, of course, you'll notice that it shows a picture of ellebee her video, and then to the right of it, it shows the transcript of the video, and it's there's a part in the middle that's highlighted. I want you to actually, let me just, you know what I'll do? I keep forgetting in these Twitter spaces, it's not like Twitter Lives. I can actually go there. Let me read you what ellebee said from the picture. Let me just scroll down here. Oh, I also did a live stream from the VA today. Okay. So ellebee said, I don't know if I believe him. I just don't know how many vets that would act that way. So I feel like I have the right. Now remember, acting that way is calling out ellebee's lies. Right? You're calling out ellebee for lying, supporting doxing, supporting a fraud raiser, not calling out the fraud raiser. My behavior is me showing the proof and then giving my opinion. I'm not doing anything outside of that to these people, right? They're just uber pissed that they supported a fraud raiser, and instead of me being, they expected me to be wrong, and they expected themselves to be right. And in the end, as you know, they were wrong, we were right, and because of that, that's what she's mad about, okay? She continues, honestly, as an American citizen, you know that happens. It's called stolen valor. Like, people do that, unfortunately. You see people walking around and like ACUs that the patches are on wrong, or they walk into a gas station with an ACU on and their hat on, and they don't take their hat off when they enter a building. That's a telltale sign that they're not in the military, because people in the military, it's like, it's almost a robotic movement that when they walk into a building, they automatically take that hat off because they know, you know what I'm saying. So I think, honestly, in my opinion, anyone that is an American citizen, well, that's just all that it shows. She said a lot more and a lot worse. That's just one little, snippet from what she said and did. But as you know, Leslie, let me respond to you, because see, what you're talking about, the kind of soldier that you're talking about, are the kind of soldier that wants to show off to the American people. See, us soldiers, when we get out, the ones that are satisfied, who don't show off, who don't try to go around still pretending that we have to follow those rules, right? We don't play that game where we pretend that it's so ingrained, that we're so dumb, or that we're so brain dead that we can't control when we walk into a building whether we go to take a hat off. Sure, sometimes you catch yourself when you get out of the military reaching up to put your hat on or take your hat off when you walk in or out of a building. Sometimes you catch yourself doing those things. But what you're talking about are those soldiers that for some reason they wanted to go walk around in their uniform as much as humanly possible at the store, or like, instead of going home and changing their uniform, or going to the barracks and changing their uniform when they got off work, they ran off in their uniform and went to the store or went to the mall and walked around and strutted their stuff or whatever. I wasn't like that. Okay, so what you're confusing for every soldier actually is just some soldiers. Now, there are soldiers that were in for an extended, long period of time. Unlike myself, I was only in for 3-4 years, though some soldiers were in for 15 or 20, and I could see that happening to them. But I don't see a soldier in for 5 or 10 years, other than maybe for a period of time right after they get out. Maybe going to do it. But the thing is, you stop yourself anyway, right? You remember, oh yeah, I don't have to follow these rules anymore. See, especially when you've been deployed and when you've gone through a bunch of shit, the thing that sticks in your mind isn't taking a hat off when you walk in and out of a building. The thing that sticks in your mind is the deployment and all the bullshit you went through, and whether or not you're going to lose the body part that the doctor has told you that you're almost guaranteed to lose, like in my case, or whether or not you're going to be able to walk after your surgery, like the doctors were telling me in my case. You see, I had greater things to worry about other than whether or not I could take a hat off or put a hat back on. But when it comes to soldiers, I guess, that didn't deal with those problems, I could see that maybe they would focus more on a hat. And I'm not being condescending to them. I'm being condescending to you because you're a spoiled little baby. You are a childish person who just constantly is showing everybody that you expect to be treated differently than the people that you commentate on. Because I've watched you go off on people. I've watched you call people out. I've watched you lose your shit and talk all angry and snooty and everything else, right? And you've got the nerve to because I, you know, bust a fraud raiser, right? You want to support a fraud raiser, Leslie? You know what I would say? If you're looking at this situation, what I would say is that it's crazy for me to think that anyone, not a veteran or not either a veteran or not a veteran, just anybody would support someone stealing money from everyone else. You still haven't gone and went to your channel and showed the video clips of Letitia and Molly and Justin siphoning the money out of the account. You haven't told your audience how they were lying about the refunds and then went and tried to make sure that the refunds couldn't come out. You haven't shown the videos of Molly doxing anyone yet. You haven't criticized Molly or called Molly out, have you? But you think you've got the right to sit there and play this game and vet bash me? No, all you're doing is showing the people in your audience who and what you really are. And when you sit there and you guys play this game, you think that you're, being slick, right? I'm going to be slick and I'm going to convince my audience that Uni's not a veteran. Hey, I'm going to really get Uni this time. So why is it that I just sit and laugh at you guys for this? Why is it that I just respond and make sure everybody knows what you're doing and just, wonder why you're so insane to do this? Because you are not ruining anything about me. You're not ruining anything about, you're not damaging my brand or whatever it is you're trying to do and all that. You're not even convincing people anything about me. You are just convincing people what you are and how you are, and you're damaging your brand and your channel. Now, anyway, I'm going to go. Thanks for listening. Keep it in mind. Again, they are, because of Leslie and Charlotte, refusing to go to their channels and update where they were wrong. Their audience is convinced that if they were wrong, they would come tell them, because Charlotte and Leslie are constantly telling their audience that they'll correct themselves if they're wrong. They wouldn't let it stick if they were wrong. So because they're not doing this, those, I don't know what, Kool-Aid drinking audience members, not seeing Leslie and Charlotte do this are assuming that Leslie and Charlotte aren't wrong, when in reality they've been proven to be wrong. They know they're wrong. And another thing that Leslie's ignoring, real quick before I go, why hasn't she stated anything about meeting me at the VA? Wouldn't she want to bust the evil fake Unirock guy and meet me at the VA? She won't even respond to it. She will not even respond. She knows that I've invited her to meet me at the VA. So again, this is who you're dealing with. Remember when she would sit there and play and sadfish, just like Charlotte does, by the way, all the time, about how they have been attacked by Katie, and Katie did this to them and that to them and all this. They're just manipulators is all it is. They're just pathological liars and manipulators. They are incapable of going to their channel and explaining when they're wrong to their audience, because they know that if they don't do it, the majority of their audience isn't going to find out what's going on. That is LB and Charlotte, until I start responding, just so you know. And it's going to happen. Of course, I mean on my channel, not on Twitter or my small channel. Okay.